Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, as usual, I have to invite everybody in. Y'all know that we are building a tribe, we are building a community, and of course, we want everybody to be a part of it who wants to be a part of it. And let me tell you, we are the best community on these internet streets. If you don't believe me, go in the comments, talk to someone, chit chat with someone, have a kiki. And when you get finished and you want to be a part of this community as well, you know what you need to do. Look down in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit that notification bell too. So you'll know when I upload or when I just want to pop in, and give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. Like I said, I have been winning in these streets. Instead of it dragging me, I've been dragging it. And it's all because of y'all. So thank you for those thumbs up. Keep them coming. Also, I just want to say a big thank you to all of the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. I know it's not easy. I know it can get a little mundane, but hey, y'all are my heroes. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so very much for doing that. Also, over there in the corner, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. And if you just want to do a one-time donation, look over there in the other corner. That's our super thanks, and all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some shout outs. We do. First up is my girl, Ella Gully. I don't even know what to say about Ella anymore, except she is such a ride or die. She is such a faithful part of this community. And I am so lucky to have her as a part of this tribe. So thank you, Ella. Thank you for being a ride or die. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for the super thanks. Thank you. Also, Heather Stroud came through. Yes, she did. Heather came through and she is just everything. I love Heather because Heather is very no nonsense, straightforward. I love that. And she be in the comments dropping her opinion. She does. She do not hold back. And like I said, that is what I love about Heather. So thank you, Heather. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being a part of this community. You make it so much better. You do. I love it. And up next is Miss Annette Sweat. Annette, oh my goodness. Annette has been with me pretty much since the beginning. And let me tell you, she has never faltered, not one time. She has always been a staunch supporter of this channel. She's always coming through. She's always supporting, and she is a ride or die. So thank you. Thank you, Annette. Thank you for coming through. But most of all, thank you for being here. Also, next up is Gwen Stevenson. Yes, Gwen is everything. She is. She's always in the comments. She's always up early watching the read. She's always saying good morning to me. She's always there in those comments. She is constantly supporting. She's always coming through. She is just a huge part of this community, and I am so lucky to have Gwen on my team. So thank you, Gwen Stevenson. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we will talk on the other side. I want to give another quick thank you to Ella Gully, who is everything, Heather Strauss, who is everything, Annette Sweat, who is everything, and Gwen Stevenson, who is completely everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, y'all, thank you for being here because y'all make this channel what it is. You really, really do. And I appreciate you so very much. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know when I am putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, I have been on these internet streets quite a bit because y'all, these streets have been hot, hot, hot. I know I'm a little late putting out my podcast, but y'all know sometimes life be lifing. And of course, I had some stuff to pop up, but let me tell you, that never stops me from jumping on these internet streets. And that's exactly what I did. I was all over the place. I was over on Blue Sky. I was even over on Blue Sky. Yes, I was on Blue Sky. I was in over on TikTok. I jumped in on Instagram a little bit, see what the Instagram squatties were doing, see what Meghan was up to. And then I hit my favorite spot. Yes, I hit my favorite spot, which is X, formerly known as Twitter. I lovingly called it the sewer. And I had to get over there. Y'all know I have to get over there at least once a day to see what the squatties in my favorite spot is up to. And of course, they are just absolutely just having a ball and dragging Kate, dragging the horse, just dragging that state visit, dragging. I mean, it's just so much. It's so much going on. And so we have a lot to talk about. So we're gonna get to it, and we're gonna first start with this good news. I'm telling you. And look, some of the squatties are starting to receive their wine. Oh my goodness. Look at it, y'all. It is so beautiful. I never thought I could look at wine and think that it is so beautiful. It is. It's just a feast to the eye to see how the squatties are supporting our faith. And oh my God, I am just loving it, loving it, loving it. And look how they displayed it on the table with these beautiful flowers. Leave it to the squatties to know how to showcase our faves wine. Squatties have just impeccable taste. Do they not? They do. And this particular squatty hit it out of the ballpark, didn't she? This picture, it is everything. And this particular squatty that posted this said, received a special delivery this morning and the beautifully wrapped bottles with the as ever official seal. We're going to have a fantastic weekend. Thank you, Meghan. Oh my goodness. How many bottles is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 bottles. She got 12. She got the maximum amount, that you could get in a grouping. I am a little jealous, I must say, but I am still very, very happy for the squatties who are able to have such a treat to have Meghan's wine. Y'all have a good time this weekend. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up, and this particular squatty got her wine as well. And look at the packaging. It just looks so upscale. It just looks so rich. I'm telling you, the aesthetics is just everything. And this particular squatty said, Madam Duchess even makes the packaging aesthetically pleasing. Where is the lie? Tell me this does not look. James, pull my car around, would you please? That kind of rich. Yes, it looks that. All I can say is come on through, Meghan. Come on through with the aesthetics. I love it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up, and this particular squatty posted an article from, I think it was In Style magazine. I think that's the magazine. And this lady did a review of Megan's wine. And the name of the article is I Tried Meghan Markle's New Rosé. Here's whether the $30 wine is worth the hype. It tastes like a drink that Meghan and Diana might have enjoyed together. Yes, and it only gets better from that. This particular article is so good that Megan posted excerpts of this article on her Instagram page. I kid you not. That is unheard of for Megan to do something like that. You know, it is a good and fair article. So check out the article, check out Megan's Instagram. I'm telling you, I have checked out both and I love it. And the squatty that posted this article on their post said this: the Meghan Duchess of Sussex hashtag as ever rose reviews are coming in, and as expected, they're great. Our girl is about to be a billionaire. And I can hear the heads exploding across the pond as we speak. But I do digress. Please go over, like I did, and read the article. At least go and click on the article and pretend like you're reading. And then you can go to Megan's Instagram and read the important parts that she felt that was really, really good. And she highlighted on her Instagram page, and give her a like, because we have to support. We really do. When journalists write really good articles, we need to go in there, we need to click on it, we need to engage with it. And I'm telling you, because we need more people who are going to write honest, be honest journalists and write fair articles. And when they do, we need to support. I'm just saying. And also, we never need to forget that Megan's page, we have to support that too. That's why I rarely feature a lot of what Megan has going on over there on my podcast. Now, I'll talk about it. I might do a screen grab or something like that. But I always want y'all to go over to her page and give her likes, because this is a numbers game, y'all. It is a numbers game, and that's the same way it is with In Style. It is a numbers game. If we want, journalists to be fair, we need to support the ones who are fair right now. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatty reposted the article where it says it tastes like a drink that Megan and Diana might have enjoyed together. Yes, this squatty posted that and said this: I hope every single nasty person out there crashes out on this quote. And let me tell you, that's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen, because they do nothing but hate on Meghan because of their own uneventful life. Yes, I was talking to one of the, I guess, haters on X, formerly known as Twitter. And that is what they do. They're mad because they are not Meghan. They don't have Meghan's life, which is ridiculous to me. It is ridiculous to me. But I think I saw a quote one time that says people who hate are just unhappy. They're unhappy people. You will never find a happy person hating on anybody else, because they're so busy being happy. They're so busy being content. And I want to add to that too is, even if you're not particularly happy at this time in your life. If you're a good person, you always wish good things on other people because you know your turn will come. What goes up will come down, but what's down will go back up as well. So you know that you're a good person. So you wish good things on other people. Miserable, hateful, evil, envious, jealous people who absolutely have lived such an uneventful life and feels like the world or you know the universe owes them something. Yes, those are the kind that hate on Meghan. I'm just saying. But I'm with this squatty right here. I hope they crash the F out over and over and over again and find themselves over on X so I can talk about them, so I can drag them. Yes, bring your crash out over to X so the squatties can deal with you accordingly. I'm just saying. And to all the people who are receiving their wine, and I am watching from afar, all I want to say is I'm happy for y'all. I am happy for y'all. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And Kaiser posted this. And she also wrote an article to go along with it. And y'all know how she does. She writes an article about an article, but I must confess, I did not bother with this article because I just found it unnecessary. You know, when you're on these internet streets, you're squatty on these internet streets, you have to pick and choose your battles. And it is just hard for me to absolutely want or have a desire to read anything about this nonsense talking about Meghan, how Kate was sending a message. This is what Kaiser said. Princess Kate was apparently sending a message to Meghan by wearing her Givenchy. Now, I'm not saying this is what Kaiser is saying. She got it from an article. I'm sure it was from the fail or one of those rags over there. Like I said, I didn't even bother to open it up. I was more interested in what the squatties were saying under the post instead of being interested in the article because we know it's the same old bull crap that they constantly are regurgitating over there. So I just didn't have the stomach for that part of it. But I did have the stomach for the comments. Of course I did. And this particular squatty came up under there and said this: that dress is hideous and washes her already wash ours up even more. I doubt Meghan is losing rest over a washed up so called princess 43 looking like she's 63. And put it in all caps as well. I think this particular squad is feeling like I'm feeling. I don't want to hear that. We have heard that and heard it and heard it and heard it. And we are absolutely sick of it because at the end of the day, we really don't care. We do not care if Kate is actually sending a message or not. We don't care because, unlike her, she does not live rent free in Meghan's head. Because how do we know that? Because Meghan is building an empire. Meghan is living a happy life behind the scenes. Meghan has no time to be worried if Kate is sending some kind of message to her and trying to. You honestly think Meghan is going to sit down and try to figure out what message Kate is sending to her? Because at the end of the day, what difference does it make? If it's a message, what is it? Who cares? Nobody cares. And I'm like this squatty. She needs to worry about that hideous dress. That dress on Kate looks just like it's hanging on a hanger. I do not believe that it would look any different if you put her with that dress on and another identical dress on a hanger side by side and not show the top part, you would not know who is what and what is who in that situation. You might even pick the hanger as the human being who's wearing it. It looks like that dress is not hitting her at any point. I have never saw anything like it. Kate has the oddest shaped body I have ever saw. It's as if she is a living, breathing mannequin. Oh, I'm sorry. She is, isn't she? Oh, my bad. That's exactly what she is. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this one up. And this particular squatty just absolutely said what needed to be said at this point in time. This squatty said, "This is how you wear a red dress." And all I can say is, where is the lie in that statement? I don't see it because the dress is not wearing Meghan. Meghan is wearing the dress. This dress does not look like it's on a hanger. It looks like it's on a person who is wearing the HE double hockey sticks out of it. I'm just saying. And the original post said, "Megan Sussex, fire, 4 million and counting. Let's go. Where is the lie? Where is it?" Because Meghan is too busy building her empire. But, the squatties just wanted to reach back and really show all of these deranged, fever minded people who are talking about Kate is sending some kind of message. What kind of message would she be sending to someone who can wear a red dress like this? I'm just saying, what is it? And who would care? I'm just saying. Who would even care what the message really is if you look like this? And I'm going to put this up. And this deranger said that, Meghan is jealous of Kate because Kate gets to wear a tiara. Can you believe that? And my whole thoughts on this is, how stupid can you be to sit down at your computer and write such nonsense? Because hadn't it crossed that fevered mind of yours that if Meghan really cared about a tiara, she would have stayed? Because she had the option. She had the option. Her and Harry had the option to stay. But Meghan said, no. She said that would be a hard no for her. And so they still are trying to get the squatties to believe that Meghan is somehow missing out on something. She may have regrets about this life. I'm telling you, if you look at the people that was at that dinner, all the senior royals, boy, they look like warmed over mush. They looked horrible. And if this is the life of wearing tiaras, I'm telling you, them rundown old broads that showed up at that dinner. And if this is the life of a person who gets to wear a tiara, I understand why Meghan said it was a hard no for her. Because Meghan came, she saw, and then she said, no way, and left. And I don't understand what this person is saying. This is what he says. He says, just one thing missing that she craves so badly, a royal tiara. This is what these fever-minded people really, really believe. And Meghan is going to have so much money. Let me tell you, if Meghan wants a tiara, she'll be able to buy one. And I hope her and Harry do. I hope her and Harry buy a tiara and name it the Sussex Family Tiara. So our beloved little princess Lilibeth Diana will be able to wear it on her wedding day. Yes, because nothing is stopping Meghan from doing that At least give her another year. Nothing is going to stop her from being able to afford whatever she wants, and that includes a royal tiara, because it will be royal, because Harry's royal, Meghan's royal. Those two babies are royal. Now you can strip them of the titles, but at the end of the day, it do not change who they are. So yes, Meghan, I hope you do get a royal tiara and have it for Lilibeth when she gets married. She will not have to beg anybody to put a tiara on her head, because her mama and daddy would have been worked hard enough to buy one for her. And I love it. Start the tradition. Let her babies, her daughters, wear the Royal Sussex tiara. I love it. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squatty posted this. It says, "You hate on my success like you don't have the same 24 hours." And this squatty posted that and said this: "Meghan chose working, building an empire, creating her own brand, etc., instead of hate. They are crying about her success and hating on it." Yes, this is what got them so hot and bothered, that Meghan has created a successful business, that it is absolutely flourishing and thriving, that Harry and Meghan will never have to come back with their tail between the legs, because that is the scenario that they have wanted so bad, and they see it slipping through their hands like the, what is it, the sands of time. Yes, just absolutely slipping through their hands, and they cannot stand it. And you can tell that it is really getting bad for them, that reality is really starting to sink in, because the rhetoric is getting harsher and harsher. It is. It's getting more vile, because they're just attacking Meghan, attacking Meghan. Somehow, in their fevered minds, they really think that they can convince us not to support Meghan. They write out these articles. I don't know who they try to convince, because those royalists over there, the real stupid, dumb ones, they're not going to change their opinion of Meghan, because they're too busy bowing and scraping and bootlicking and believe in this fallacy that these mere mortals that they call royal or monarchy is somehow better than them. And they are supposed to show them deference because they were born in a certain family. And who does not believe that or go along with this nonsense? You're supposed to attack them. Yes, I mean, how crazy is that? Can you imagine an alien landing on Earth and you had to sit there and explain to them the monarchy? I mean, can you imagine if you just never even heard of the monarchy, and you are a rational, sane individual, and somebody tells you that it doesn't matter how dumb they are, how mediocre they are, you can be more exceptional than they are, but yet and still they're somehow superior to you. And because of that, you're supposed to give them your money so they can live this lavish lifestyle and ride around in gold carriages. And you have to line the street in the heat, in the rain, with a little piece of cloth at the end of a stick. And you're supposed to wave it as they go by in their golden carriage, because somehow these mediocre individuals are supposed to represent your nation's identity. You're sold this bill of goods from the very, very small, when you first start school, until the end of your life. That is why they have those little kids out there waving the flags and also letting school out, just indoctrinating them into believing that these people are somehow better than them. a bed hopper and an adulterer sitting on the throne is supposed to be better than your grandma, or over there they call them their nan or their parents. Somehow they're better, and you're supposed to give them your money. I mean, starting when you first have your job until you die. Yes. And somehow they're supposed to be better. Kate, who cannot tie two sentences together and was a professional stalker who landed the heir to the throne with the honeypot scheme, and the heir to the throne who can't think his way out of a wet paper sack. He is so dumb. I mean, dumb as a sack of rocks, but they're supposed to be better than you. Think about if you really had to explain this to people who had the ability to reason. This sounds crazy. It sounds insane. And anybody who doesn't see that, I don't know what to say. I'm like Harry. I can't help you. I cannot help you. And so this is the reason why they cannot take Meghan, because Meghan looked at that and said, no, that is not for me. And then left and has created this business that is absolutely has the potential of really becoming an empire. And this squad, it goes on to say, if it didn't waste their 24 hours day in, day out hating on a woman that they don't know, maybe they would have been successful today too. Exactly. But most of the people who hate on Meghan are just like Kate. They're supposed to be Kate fans. Women who have done nothing with their lives and cannot stand to see other women achieve anything. It makes them feel bad. I'm just saying. All right, I'm gonna put this up, and this is what the derangers are. They're waiting around. They think everything is going to be different once Charles and Camilla get out of the way, that all of a sudden Kate and William are going to just skyrocket into stardom. Somehow they're going to switch up their personality, and people are going to actually start being interested in them because they're going to be king and queen. Well, look at Charles and his horse. Was when they fell into those roles, did people start, did they change their opinion of them? That somehow miraculously that they became popular and people start being interested in them? I don't understand why they think that William and Kate is going to be any different than they are right now. Because we all know right now they cannot draw flies, and they look like flies are following them for a reason. I'm just saying. But I'm gonna put this up. This particular squatty said the way they're excitedly frothing, waiting for King Charles to pass so that Prince William and Kate can finally look accomplished is insidious. PSA: waiting for someone to die to take their place is not an accomplishment or merit. They did nothing to get or deserve that position. Exactly. Exactly. And I don't understand why they think people are not starting to wake up to that. Slowly but surely, people are starting to wake up to that because it's ridiculous. I mean, he slipped out of a certain birth canal, and all of a sudden, he is supposed to be so praised, so uplifted, so exalted. It makes no sense. And when you really get a load of these two, you know that they don't even really deserve a job down to the local Home Depot. They would screw that up if they had to work for a living. Kate could not, she could not run the cash register at Home Depot. She would absolutely absolutely could not do it. We saw her on that pancake. Kate can't do anything. She cannot do anything. But yet and still, they want those titles because they think everything is going to change. But newsflash, everything is not going to change. It's going to stay the same. I'm sorry, but you do not change personality. You do not change people's interests overnight. And they are not interesting people. They're not. They're copycats and they're mediocre. I hate to break this to them, but people's interest is not going to change because they changed titles. Did it happen the last time? They went from the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge to the Prince and Princess of Wales. And now I'm telling you, they cannot have an article without putting Harry or Meghan or Harry and Meghan's name in it. And they changed titles then. And it's not going to change when they change from the Prince and Princess of Wales to the King and Queen of the United Kingdom. Did it change for Charles and his horse? I don't think it did. Charles had eggs flying over his head. And we all know the horse. We're going to talk a little bit about her. They show her no respect. People are not going to change just because you change hats or change titles. But they really, really think that because they are frothing at the mouth to get that happen. They want Charles done for. But it's not going to change anything. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up, but I'm not gonna spend much time on it. But it's a lot of chatter about William, how he didn't help Kate up on the carriage when they were going for the carriage ride around Windsor during this state visit. And he earlier had helped her down the stairs or something like that, which I think that that was planned because we all know that they emulate Harry and Meghan. I think that was exactly what he was told to do. And if he's not told to do something, it's just not in his nature to spontaneously do anything. So I don't think that they really thought it all out, and they never thought to tell him to help her on the carriage because he never helps her. You know, if he's not told to play this role, then the real William comes out. And I think that's what happened here. And this is a repost. And the original post said this: I thought for a moment Willie was actually going to assist Kate getting up on the carriage because remember, she's still recovering from recovery. Tell me squatties are not messy. They are. That is a messy, messy line. It is, and I love it. It's too delicious. But I digress. He goes on and says, but I was wrong. He was straightening out his tie. He was straightening out his tie. Tell me. I love it. I love it. And the squatty that reposted this said, every time this woman appears on my timeline, she is being publicly humiliated by her husband, while the British media says it's adorable. Exactly, exactly. I'm telling you, the British media is a joke at this point. I saw a post by a squatty and said, all this nonsense that the British media tries to gaslight people with it just doesn't hit the same way. I mean, it is so pathetic and desperate. I mean, they are desperately trying to get a spark to try to get these two people to be a sensation on the world stage. After 6 years of Harry and Meghan being gone, they still have not been able to start a fire for these two. And boy, have they put log after log after log on this potential fire, but it just has not happened. And of course, Harry and Meghan is burning the house down over there in Montecito. But yes, So I just find this hilarious that this squatter said that the British media says it's adorable. Yes, put another log on it. Try to get the fire started. And in actuality, you can't start a fire without flames. You cannot start a fire with these two mediocres. And that's why I was saying earlier, it's nothing going to change when they become king and queen. Just like nothing changed with Charles and Camilla, except it made it worse. It absolutely damaged the monarchy because they're such small people in such big roles. And if you want something to come tumbling down, you want an institution to come tumbling down, put small people in big roles. Because calling Camilla Her Majesty the Queen when you had a queen like Elizabeth II that came before her, and this woman who actually was drunk on the streets of Scotland, this woman who is a bed hopper, this woman who cannot say two words without looking at a piece of paper to guide her, this woman who got out of her shoes and walked like a common piece of trash. I mean, walk barefooted. This is supposed to be the queen of the United Kingdom. This one is in this role. And we're not even going to talk about petty, petulant, cognitively stunted Charles. If we go into it, we could be here all night. These are the two people who are filling that role of Elizabeth II. And that is the reason why it's all coming down, because if you put small people in big roles, it cannot stand. People start really feeling some kind of way about it because they look at them and say, how in the world am I supposed to bow to you? How am I supposed to feel deference to these mediocre people? I mean, if I had to guess, none of them have an IQ over 80. And you supposed to somehow bootlick these people. That is how monarchies come tumbling down, because small people are in big roles and people feel no deference to them. They don't. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this picture up. And this is when Kate was pregnant. I can't remember which child. But look, William has never made sure she was okay. This is a cold, wintry day. We don't know how the steps of this plane, if they're slippery or not, and he could care less. He went on to greet, I think this is the Crown Prince of Norway. Correct me if I am wrong, but yes, he went right on and shook hands and paid her no mind, and she is visibly quite pregnant. So why in the world would he help her in a carriage? This has been going on forever. I mean, he has never cared anything about Kate or showed her any kind of concern when they are out and about. He absolutely, y'all remember at St. Paul Cathedral during the Queen's Jubilee, he was so far ahead of her. By the time she made it down the steps, he had made it home, made a sandwich, and cracked open a beer. I mean, he was running from her, and she was just doing everything she could to keep up. Y'all remember that? This has always been William, so no surprise here. The only surprise is that they're trying to gaslight us into believing that he is something different than he really is. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up, and the Rangers really feel like they have really scored big with this state dinner, with this state visit. They feel like their faves have really been highlighted. But I hate to break it to them. I'm not saying that they hadn't been highlighted because I have not been watching, and I'm sure not too many people have been watching. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they do well or if they don't. Nobody cares. Nobody's watching. But yes, they feel like they really scored something with this dinner. Kate showing up looking the mannequin that she is, like her dress is hanging on a rack, and it is a Temu version of one of Meghan's dresses. And let's be frank here. Let's be absolutely truthful. It was a lot of people at that dinner biting off of Meghan's style. But I digress. This particular squatty said, does anyone else find this repulsive? Look at this. This is what they're taking so much pride in. And it has been said that this whole state visit and this dinner cost the taxpayers of Britain $500,000. I kid you not, $500,000 to wine and dine these people. I mean, it is the most ridiculous thing. And like this squatty said, does anyone else find this repulsive? I do. I absolutely do. So many hungry children, so many families trapped in homes with mold and damp, and they spent $500,000 on a dinner. I'm just saying. And it seems like I'm gonna put this up that Emmanuel Macron made a joke and he winked at Kate. He literally winked at Kate. I wonder what that was about. But he felt the need that he could because let's be for real. The French do not take royalty or monarchy seriously. And Macron, in his speech, made light and joked about monarchy. This is what he said. He said, we love monarchy, especially when it is not at home. Yes, he aired them out with a joke. And this particular squatty posted about this and said, why hasn't the Daily Mail written Macron mocks the monarchy and the royal family? They sure like to do that when it's Harry and Meghan. Where is the lie? Because we all know they still bring up South Park. Yes, South Park now. But the president, the whole president, that's the way we say we do that down south. We to make something bigger, we said the whole president of France absolutely mocked them and said monarchy is great, but especially when it's not at home. Say we love it, but especially when it's not at home. Isn't that something? And the Daily Fail has fell silent when it comes to that. He not only mocked them, he mocked them while eating their food right in their faces. I'm just saying. I love it. And the squatty that posted this said, okay, I can't be the only one laughing. After a 500,000 pound banquet, he goes and laughs at them. Yes, he did. He absolutely stood up there and mocked them. And they absolutely have not said one word about it. Not one word has been printed over there in those rags. And he stood right in front of them and mocked them. But all I can say is, he is really brave when it comes to everybody except his wife, because she will absolutely give him the two piece with a biscuit at a drop of a hat, and she don't care where it's at. Y'all know she gave him the 2 piece and a biscuit on the plane over there in Japan. He will never, ever, Macron will never, ever be able to live that one down. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And of course, everything they do, they have to make it about Meghan. Now, they can't write about how Macron got up there after eating their food and and mock them. No, they don't want to. They don't want to cover that story, but they want to somehow bring Meghan into their nonsense. And as you can see, this squatty posted where they said there has been a few new twists on the state visit dinner in the king's reign, including the introduction of a mixologist who creates a bespoke cocktail for each visiting country. And then in the next paragraph, they go into what the drink was and what was in the drink. But what they really wanted to get to was what the drink was garnished with. They said it was garnished with French cornflowers and English roses. And they were dried and they were flour sprinkles. Yes, they were flour sprinkles. And then at that bottom paragraph, it says, no giggling at the back about those dried flower petals, please. Unlike Meghan's, those ones aren't for sale. Yes, they had to bring Meghan into it and her flower sprinkles, talking about they weren't for sale. Well, all I can say is this. They wasn't for sale, but they still cost you and cost the tax-paying public of the United Kingdom to the tune of £500,000. Yes, these people are just as stupid. These fevered-minded people are just as stupid to try to bring Meghan in any way they can, and they always end up looking like a fool. And the squatty that posted this said, you damn right, it's not like Meghan's flower sprinkles. Anywho, can I get Kitty's free jam recipe we all have been waiting for a few months now? No word from the tabloids who started this lie. Y'all remember that? This squatty just absolutely flipped the script on them and say, let's not talk about the flower sprinkles. Let's talk about the lie you told about Kitty making jam. Yes, so ridiculous. And the squatty that reposted this said, the obsession to tie anything to Meghan, even a state banquet. Where is the lie? Where is it? They had to bring Meghan into it some way, and they tied her in with flower sprinkles. Talking about nobody had to pay for them. Well, yes, you did. And you had to pay to the tune of £500,000. Let that wash over you, stupid. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up, and we're going to talk about the horse a little bit. And y'all know I have been saying this for a while, that the horse is absolutely, really acting very strangely. I have been saying it and saying it, but I hadn't saw anybody else really saying it until now, until David brought it up. And like I said, David is someone who usually posts very beautiful pictures of Princess Diana. I think he is a real stand when it comes to Princess Diana. And every now and then he'll post something else. But he is noticing something that I have been noticing for a while. And it says this: 3 times there has been issues recently with the horse not knowing where she's supposed to be, and Charles having to move her. It's pretty embarrassing that she doesn't know what she's doing and looks very unprofessional. Where is the lie? She has been circling him, not knowing where to stand, going back and forth. I mean, it has been ridiculous. The last time when they were in Paris, she was absolutely acting very strangely. She was. And it is starting to, show to the point where other people are starting to notice it. And so I took a peek in this particular post comments, and people were saying the same thing. She acts like a person with dementia. She wanders around. She acts like she don't know where she's going. She absolutely is looking at the ground all the time. She never holds her head up. And yeah, something is going on with her. And this particular squatty posted also said this: she's never really known her job or her place and always seems to be confused, but definitely more so lately. It's not just me. I've been saying it, but now other people are starting to say it too. It says, sucks for Charles, makes him look like an unprofessional idiot. But hey, karma never claims to be nice. Well, we all agree with that because this is true karma. He could have had a polished and beautiful woman by his side that everyone loved, and he chose not to. He chose to destroy her and replace her with his horse. And now he has what he has. Because I was talking about it earlier, she literally pulled her shoes off in Australia and walked barefooted, bare feet. That's what the proper pronunciation is. Yeah, she walked bare feet. It's no way Queen Elizabeth II would have ever done anything like this. Anything like what she pulled in Australia. But yes, people are starting to notice it. It's not just me. Other people are starting to say it out loud. All right, I'm going to put this up. And she was at Wimbledon. And let me tell you, a controversy broke out. Why? It's because she came into the stadium and they had to nudge people to stand up. They forced people to give the horse a standing ovation. I kid you not. And Kaiser posted about it and said people had to be nudged into standing for Queen, I cannot even say it, the horse at Wimbledon. And this particular squatter came up under there and said, my arse would have stayed on that seat. And I'm telling you, you go in the comments where Wimbledon posted about Camilla being there, and it is nothing but disrespect. They do not respect her. They do not. And all I can say is, I love it because she doesn't deserve any respect. Why would she? All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this right here to me just proves how low down, how dirty, how treacherous, how evil, how underhanded this woman was when it came to another woman's husband. And that was Diana. She absolutely had no respect. None. She was shameless. She was absolutely shameless in her pursuit of another woman's husband, while she was also married. I'm going to put it up. This squatty said Camilla making sure her sister Annabelle got a seat alongside her in the royal box. Charles and Camilla used to regularly shag at Annabelle's country home while they were married to other people. Annabelle was also the only interior designer the duchy used until she was sacked. But I bet you she retired. I mean, Charles is not going to sack Camilla's sister. It was a mutual pardon. You best believe that, because she covered up for Charles and Camilla during the darkest times of Diana's life, where they were dragging her through HE double hockey sticks. These two people. I don't see how the British public stomachs it. I cannot even let the words come out of my mouth that this woman is queen. Her Majesty the Queen. How dare Charles? This is the reason why I was talking earlier, putting small people in big roles. You cannot garnish respect. You cannot garnish reverence when you are putting small people in big roles. And Charles and his horse are the smallest. To do Diana the way they did and then go on as if it never happened. But I tell you what, every time she shows up, every time somebody posts about her, they roast her. It's no respect given. Now, it's one or two people sprinkled in there giving some respect, but the majority of people show her none. And I just love it for her. I do. Her and her trifling sister, Annabelle, who was one of the people who was nudging people to try to get them to stand up to give this old bed hopper a standing ovation. How embarrassing for the United Kingdom. How embarrassing. Now, I'm not saying, being from America, we don't have some embarrassment of our own, because we absolutely do. But two wrongs don't make a right. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this squad said, 4 standing ovations. If you're going to demand people to stand because some woman is walking into a sporting event, then the whole idea of a standing ovation is lost. It's really laughable when the value of a firm is not measured by their tangible impact, but on how many stood up when they walked in, who clapped, how loud were the cheers, and did the crowd barrier get filled? Yes, and we all know that none of that is happening for these folks. They literally had to nudge people to stand up. They did not even want to acknowledge her. But this is what it's come to. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squad is said, and if that was our beloved Queen Elizabeth II, that would have never happened. Where is the lie? Because the Queen, all she would have had to do was to walk in, and people would have leapt to their feet to show her deference and respect. But this woman, who has done nothing but bed hop and slept her way to the top, how can you have respect for someone like that? How? Because you can say a lot of things about Queen Betty, but you cannot question her morality. You cannot question her morality. She absolutely lived a very moral life. But this one right here, how can you respect that? Her and Charles. It's no respect to be had there. And then you go to the next couple, ain't much respect to have there. He's incandescent with rage, and you can see her vajayjay up and down these internet streets anytime you want to. Where is the morality in all of that? She's sitting on some man's lap giving a lap dance. But yet and still they want to talk about Meghan. You don't have any kind of pictures like that of Meghan. Meghan is the most moral person who has ever come into that institution. It was Queen Elizabeth, it was Diana, and then it was Meghan. Diana came in as a virgin. Meghan came in as a very moral person. Yes, so miss me. And then it goes on to say, you stood up before you even saw her. Just had to be announced she was in the building. But this old hag, she is not a queen. She is a mistress who has been crowned by her adulterous husband. Where is the lie? I'm going to leave it there and we're going to sit with that one. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this squatty reposted a post from People magazine, and it says Kate Middleton's trusted personal assistant of 15 years exit palace for new ventures. Yeah, she got up out of there, and they said it's exclusive. Now she's been there 15 years, and all of a sudden she packed everything that was hers and she left. And we just finding out about it. And this particular squatty reposted that and said this: breaking, Kitty and Willie abruptly lost employee. A source that confirmed that Mean Girl can't keep staff because no one wants to stay. The source also confirmed that more will depart soon. Must be the fourth person who has left this year alone. Life must be really miserable inside that palace. But yes, they want to report on what's going on with Meghan and Harry's employees 5,000 miles away. And they have been totally mum about all of the people that are leaving Kensington Palace. Yes, this is how they play the game. It is ridiculous to me. But I digress. Now, the squatties are saying this is the person who has been influencing Kate to copy Meghan. Now, I don't know how true that is, but somebody's influencing her. And hopefully, the new person will get her a style because she doesn't have one right now. Because the ones that she has, she stole them. She honestly did. So we're going to see if things become better for Kate now that this lady has left. I'm saying. Because if her advice was to copy Meghan, that was not good advice for Kate. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this picture up from David. And it's a picture that I had never saw before. That's why I love David on my timeline. And it's of Princess Diana at Wimbledon. And look at her. This is what the world could have had if Charles had had any sense whatsoever. But we all know he has none. But yes, look at Diana. Beautiful. Beautiful. What could have been? All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.